Hey everybody, welcome to the Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now in our last episode, making an EVA foam Hatsune Miku racing staff part 1, you saw us get most of this built. We got the whole center section built, we layered up our 10, did our wreath, did our logo, and got most of the way through our pistons. And super easy stuff. So now in this episode, making an EVA foam Hatsune Miku racing staff part 2, we're going to finish off our pistons, we're going to attach it all, we're going to jump in here and start doing our collar on the front end and our cool end piece, and we're going to wrap our support to create our cool handle. And even though it's foam, it's super stiff because we're going to embed something inside the foam. And it's really easy, and this build is super fun. So, if you're ready to hit it, let's make something. There we go. Wow, man, that is crazy. All right, there we go. There's all 4 of our piston heads. Look at how cool those look. Really easy stuff. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to come in with our foam dowel. Okay, this is roughly 1.5 inches thick, which is 36 millimeter. And we're going to take this over to the bandsaw and we're going to knock out these inch-long pieces. And we're going to attach these on the bottom of each of our piston heads. All right, there we go. There's 4 bases that we're going to use for the bottom of our piston, just like that. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to center our support just like that, but we are going to push this slightly back like that. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to have our center post is not going to be in the middle. It's going to be slightly to the front. So when you look at it, you won't be able to tell, but we want it to be able to sit near the front of our piece like this, all right? So we're gonna basically come in probably 3/8 from the front, all right? All right, there we go. We've got our center mark right here on each piece. We've got our 3/8 of an inch measurement right there on each piece. And we have our center line drawn. So now we know we can bring this up, and we know when we stick these down, everything's going to be right where we want it. All right. Okay, now we don't have to worry about being neat down here because no one's ever really going to see this down here. So we're just going to come in and place our circle right inside where we cemented. All right, we're going to take this extra EVA foam dowel and we're going to center it roughly where we want it. All right, now we've got all of our marks. All right, give it a minute. Line our piece up with our mark, just like that. Dig that cat. Wow, man. We got. All right, now we're going to come in because we want to generate this piece, which is going to go right here like this on the bottom of the head of our staff. All right, so we're coming in with a 36 and an 18 millimeter, and we're going to attach them together because we want it that thick. All right, so let's seal it real quick just for the glue. All right, while that's drying, we're going to come in with this 12 millimeter piece, which is also going to attach to this. And we're going to come in with our X-Acto knife. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. There. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut these outer marks out on the bandsaw. Hold on a minute. Let's do this. We're going to adjust this template just a little bit. All right, just a slight adjustment. Sometimes you have to do that on the fly. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out on the bandsaw. All right. All right, there we go. We cut one side out. Now we're going to roll this over, and we are going to make the same cut now on this side. All right, so we're going to lay our template down, and we're going to finish our lines down just like that. All right, there we go. Now we're going to do this cut on the bandsaw. All right, look at that. That is really cool. Look at that, man. That is nice. But what we're going to do first is we're going to round the edges of this off with the dremel. All right, so we're going to get our gloves on because I hate getting dust all over me, and put on your dust mask. All right, there we go. Look at that. It's rounded off. That's a nice round detail. Check that out. Man, is that cool. Let's heat it up. Let's get it sealed. There we go. Nice and rounded off. Line up with the marks we made right there, and let's spin it around so we get it down centered, just like that. That's why you make marks, and that's why you take your time and you don't just drop it down. There we go, perfectly centered. Look at. Okay, now we're going to build the bottom end of our staff. We've got a 36, a leftover piece of 36, and a 12 millimeter. We're going to attach these. And then we've got this piece that's going to go with it, a 12 millimeter. So let's seal this first and then glue it. All right, give it a couple minutes. While we're waiting for that to dry, we are going to come in and cut this 12 millimeter piece out. Let's get a fresh X-Acto blade. Super easy. All right. All right, we're going to do what we did on this piece right here. Okay, we're going to cut this piece out on the bandsaw. All right, there we go. There's one side cut out. Now we're going to clean this with the Dremel. But what we're going to do now is we're going to spin this template around. Now we're going to go cut this side out. All right, there we go. Nice. All right, now we're going to come in with our Dremel and we're going to just clean this end up a little bit. All right, there we go. We got a softer end here. We could probably clean that up a little bit more. Okay, now we're going to round off our circle. All right, there we go. Now we're going to smooth the edge. There we go. We're going to use our little crosshairs. All right, there we go. Now we have both of our pieces marked with the dead center. That's where our 3/4 inch dowel is going to go. That way we know exactly where we're drilling. All right, here we go. We have a 3/4 inch wood dowel that we're going to use as our handle. And before we measure it and cut it, we've got these two spaces marked on our two pieces. We're going to drill into here and through here with the drill press. All right, we're going to use a 5/8 inch bit, so it's just a little bit smaller than our dowel. All right, here we go. Now we're going to go halfway through this side, and then we're going to spin it around and go halfway through and meet in the middle. All right, let's line our bit up with our mark right there. Okay, we know we're in a good spot. Here we go. All right, now we're going to get this side. All right, there we go. We've got this end hollowed out, and we hollowed this all the way through. We went halfway through this side, then halfway through this side, and then we'll punch out that little piece of debris there. There we go, look at that. All the way through, perfect hole. It met up perfectly. All right, now what we're gonna be able to do is we're gonna be able to feed this through, and we're gonna slide it all the way through the piece, like that. And it's gonna go up into the head right here. So we're gonna drill a hole up in here next. All right, there we go. Now we've got our Forstner bit and our drill. And now we're gonna come in here and we're gonna make a hole right in the center of our piece right there. So we're gonna come in, we're gonna line our bit up right with the center like that. All right. All right, there we go. Now, this will go right up inside there like that. Perfect. All right, that mark right there shows us how far it's gonna go up into the head of our staff. Okay, and then this piece is next. So it's gonna go right into there, and it's gonna stick out at this end. All right, so let's make our marks on here. Here is where it goes up into the staff. Here is where it goes through our little collar piece. Now we have to figure out how long we want this thing. We're right about to there. So if we've got that much space that's going to go up into the end, that means right to here. All right, so that is where we cut it off at. Now we have all of our measurements made. Let's go knock that off on the bandsaw real quick. All right, there we go. We're all set. Now, before we do any attaching, we're going to wrap this. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to wrap our staff from here all the way down to here. All right, let's get some foam out and let's wrap it. All right, there you go. Here is a thin piece of 2mm foam. We did a test wrap right there so that we know that when we go from the end to that mark right there, that's the perfect width. And we measure the length. So we have the length and the width right so we can do our wrap. There we go. We got our dowel cemented. Let's stand it up over here. We got our wood dowel and our wrap cemented. Give it a minute, and then we're going to go through the nerve-wracking process of wrapping it. All right, here we go. We're going to line it up in the center of our piece. We're going to... All right, now we're going to roll it. We're going to keep it tight to the table. And we're going to roll it. Okay, we're going to pinch it down right at the seam. All right, that is not bad. All right, there we go. Perfect. All right, there we go. Now we've got a tiny little seam right here that you can see, but it doesn't matter because we're going to come through when we're done with our quick seal and we're going to fill in this gap and you won't really see it. So, get our dowel wet. We're not going to let it dry. Feed it in and we're going to spin it around like that so that we coat the sidewalls just like that. And then we're going to come in and we're going to get all of our squeeze out off of there. All right, now what's going to happen is that contact cement on the inside is going to dry. What I mean is the moisture content inside the contact cement will evaporate and then the two pieces will stick together. That's sweet. Slide this on and we're going to spin it so that it coats the inner wall of the top piece just like that. And we're going to smush it on there and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come in and we are going to get all... All right, that's sweet. Look at that. Really cool. Really cool. All right, now comes the final step. And then we're going to get cement around the edge of this piece of the foam. All right, we'll give this a couple minutes to dry. And then when it's ready to stick, we'll add a little contact cement to the dowel. All right, so let's give this a little bit of time to dry and then we'll stick it. All right, there we go. Now we're going to come in here and we're going to spin this around. All right, there we go. Beautiful. Did we make contact? We did. Holy cow, is that nice? Oh, yeah. All right. Now, what we did is this, is we came in and we made contact foam to foam because the cement dried. And what we also did is we added some cement to the dowel. And we spun it around so that it coated the inside of the cavity of the end of the staff. That way, these two pieces of cement are attached and the moisture content in the contact cement on the inside of the cavity will evaporate and it'll stick together on the inside as well. So there we go, dig it. There is our Hatsune Miku racing staff. Very cool. You can't shoot anybody with it or throw it like a grenade or anything, but it's cool, man. Look at that thing. Wow. Jamming. We're going to come in with our quick seal and we're going to use it to fill our gap. All right, there we go. There is our quick seal and our crease right there. It's looking pretty good. If you want to really be perfect, once it dries, you can come back in and get some more on your finger and you can smear it into the crack a little bit more just to hide it even more, but it's on the back of our staff, so no one's probably really going to ever see it anyway, and it's filled in enough right now to where when we seal it and paint it, you will hardly notice it at all. So there. Okay, so what we did was we let our quick seal dry, and then we came in, we got some on our finger, and we smeared it into the little bit of a gap that was still left, and smoothed it out, and then, you know, you dip your finger in a little bit of water, and you smooth it over so it smooths it all out, and that's it. Pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's on the... We've got our super cool end piece right there. We've got our wood dowel wrapped with 2mm foam. Quick sealed our gap. We've got our cool assembly up here that the dowel goes through up into the head of the staff. There's our jamming staff with the wreath and the number 10 and the pistons. Man, that thing is cool. Like we said before, you can't you can't shoot anybody with it or like throw it and it blows up or anything, but pretty darn cool, man. That thing's jamming. All right, so with that last quick sealing detail, that pretty much brings the building portion of our Hatsune Miku racing staff build to a close. All right, we're out at the spray stand. We're gonna seal our racing staff with our plastidip. And you know what we always say, even if you're outside in a well-ventilated area, do not spray without your respirator. All right, there we go. We coated it with several coats of plastidip, and as you can tell, you can barely see where our seam is, and when you're using this thing, no one's ever gonna see that. And as you can also tell, we went from black plastidip to blue plastidip because we just wanted to use up the last of our blue plastidip. So there we go, everything's sealed. Had a lot of kind of underneath places and little hidden crevices we had to get in, so you see how we do it, how you just have to kind of hit it from a bunch of different angles, and don't blast it too hard because you don't want it to pool up and drip. You want even coats. You use the wide spray to cover most of it, but then you got to turn it sideways and use the skinny part of the spray to like get in some of these areas and all the inner edges. Takes a little bit of time, but it is totally not hard. So there you go, the whole thing is coated in several coats of plastidip. We're just gonna leave this alone and let it dry, and then we're going to spray it again. All right, we're out at the spray stand. We're gonna spray our racing staff with our metallic gold. All right, here we go. Check it out. There's our gold racing staff. We used this metallic gold, and the cap looked kind of shiny, but this looks really kind of farty. This is kind of lame. So I may just leave it because it still looks like gold metal. But what I really would like is if this thing was like really crazy shiny metallic gold, like super shiny gold. Bright, bright metallic gold, not this kind of, yeah. But anyway, there you go. It was that easy to paint. We sealed it and we painted it, and choose the color you like. I might not be able to sleep tonight because I really hate the way this color turned out, so I just might be repainting it with super, super bright metallic gold. But if I don't, that spray painting of our racing staff brings our Hatsune Miku racing staff build to a close. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's right. Like I said, couldn't sleep with that original color. I hated it. So we resprayed it with some super crazy mirror-like gold finish. That's what we were looking for. All right, now with that last painting detail, that brings our Hatsune Miku racing staff build to a close. Alright, there we go. That's how easy it was. You saw us complete the whole thing. We finished off the pistons, we attached them, and then you saw us move down here to get the collar done. You saw how we used the drill press to go through it to make a spot for our wood support dowel to go into. We did the end piece, and then you saw us round off these two little secondary collar pieces. And what else? Oh yeah, then we wrapped the wood dowel with 2mm foam. Super easy. Turned out super cool. Love this thing. And like we said before, you can't shoot anybody with it. And you don't throw it and it doesn't blow up or anything cool like that. But man, the thing just looks so darn cool. We had to do it. And so we did. And it's awesome. Love this thing. So that's it. That pretty much concludes Making an EVA Foam Hatsune Miku Racing Staff Part 2. Man, that's a mouthful. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're going to go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. Get ready. See you next time.